Welcome. This is a product comparison between the Artic Air Pure Chill with UV light and the Maxx air cooler fan. Both products are manufactured in China. The Artic Air Pure Chill is available from Ace Hardware for base price about $39 plus tax. The Maxx air cooler fan is available through mail order through breezemax.com, and they are about $90 each at a 55% discount. The products look similar. They're both evaporative coolers, but the one on the left, the Artic Air Pure Chill, does have an ultraviolet light, and the air cooler fan does not. The two products are similar in size and operation in the sense that they both cover about the same amount of foot space. The water tank on the Maxx air cooler fan is on the left when you're facing the grill. That's that gray shadow area. And on the Artic Air Pure Chill, the water tank is on the top. Both use a water filter or a water curtain, which has to be filled with cold water or ice water. And both recommend that you use ice water to fill the tank. Both say that the cooling effects can last for up to 10 hours on a full tank of water. Instructions for the Artic Air Pure Chill evaporative air cooler are easy to read and are in this colored brochure. So it talks about all the different things included, how to set it up, how to plug it in, how to deal with the cords, how to fill the water tank, and then some additional tips and tricks, and how to maintain it. So again, it's legible with pictures to follow, and then they have explicit warnings, and new filters are required, so it tells you how to order a new filter. And that is the back of it. Very effective and very useful. The Maxx air cooler fan has this instruction manual, and its letters are grayed out pretty much, and they're pretty hard to read in the sense that they're fine-tuned, but it talks about what the components are, how to start the fan, how to fill the water tank and drain the water, how to replace the water absorption curtain, and then safety precautions, and a warranty card at the back. The Artic Air fan has a warranty, and the Maxx air cooler fan has a 3-year warranty that I purchased. There's on the top cover of the of the Maxx, you have a lid that has some precautions on it, and I couldn't read that even with glasses. What I had to do is go to Ace Hardware and get a magnifying glass with a light so that I could read what it was saying. And the cautions and things are important to know. So you may need to do the same thing unless you can read it from the video. This is the power cord for the Artic air. Plugs into the wall, and the other part plugs into this hole in the front. And then what they say is they want you to put the cord underneath those clips, which I will do when I'm ready to actually use this. The power cord for the Maxx air cooler fan looks like this. It's a USB cable, so you need to have an adapter, which they do not provide. The power port is also in the front. So it goes like that, and then you need to have this adapter either going to a computer or more likely going to an adapter that plugs into the wall. I'll have to buy an extra one of those at Ace later on. This is how you get the top off of the Artic Air Pure Chill, and right underneath the top is the water tank that you fill directly from a pitcher. This, by pressing this toward the top, is how you get the top off of the Maxx evaporative fan. And then you lift this out. This is what they are calling, that is their air curtain, or their water curtain, that is filled with ice water. So you have that, plus you have the tank on this one that you have to fill. And we've been looking at the back of both devices, and I've now turned it around so that you can see the front. And these are the louvers that are adjustable on both models so that you can adjust the airflow as you have the cooling. On the Artic Air, at the front, on the bottom, there is a tab that pulls out the whole vent system and lets you get into the filter, which I'm guessing this is the water filter. So when we look at the two, they're just about the same. It's just that this one is vertical and this one is horizontal. And they both say fill it with water. When it's filled with water, put it in the freezer until it's frozen, and then reinsert it in the device. And then you're going to fill the water tank with ice water. Artic Air includes ice cubes, the other just says ice water. The water curtains or water filters are now filled with filtered water and are in the freezer. You put it in the freezer door. So both will be frozen, and then we will experiment with one at a time, starting with the Artic Air. One thing to note, the Artic Air with the UV filter that it's talking about, or UV light, there is nothing in the instruction manual that says anything about the UV light. It could be that it's a new product and they didn't upgrade the manual. But they had another product similar to this that did not have a UV light that sells for about $8 less. Other than that, the technology of the two products seems to be very much the same. And on the Maxx evaporative cooler fan, this water tank actually lifts up and there is a top or a cap on it that's on the bottom. So you fill it from that and then turn it back upside down and put it back into the side of the pan. This one you fill from the top. So we're soaking the two water filters or water curtain filters in filtered water, cold filtered water. When those filters are full, they go in the freezer until frozen, and then they go into the devices. So now we're testing the Artic Air Pure Chill, and I took the frozen water filter out of the freezer, put it into the Artic Air Pure Chill. I have now got the plug attached to the back the way they asked. I'll turn it around because what they have, well, this is the water filter in the top. There's if you put this back on the device, they've got holes on the side of the top to allow the water to go in. And they say use cold water or ice cold water and pour it in with a pitcher. Well, I have a water bottle, so I'm going to pour it in, and the idea is that you look on the side and make sure you don't overfill. So I'm doing that. That's close enough. Took most of the contents of the water bottle. Now before I plug it in and turn it on, we're going to look. I have the room temperature at just about, I don't know if you can see it well. It's right around 80. I don't know why I can't see it. It shows red. Anyway, it's just about 80 degrees. So we'll see what this thing does and how long it takes. It's now 12:25 in the afternoon, and this is June the 7th, so it's an early time. Temperature outside is expected to hit the high 80s or possibly low 90s. And now I have to adapt a minute. They're very specific, by the way. They say only use their electric adapter. Alright, so the vents are facing properly. Hang on a second, I gotta get this up a little bit so you can see the power button. And of course the power button is in the back. That's the power button. And one push puts it on high. So it's already on high. And this directs the vents. It works for 8 hours, 8 hours on high. Second push puts it to medium, works for 10 hours on medium. Third push pushes it to low, and fourth push pushes it off. We'll put it on medium, and then this controls lights. I think the ultraviolet light is what's there in the top. This controls different colors of lighting. And one of these is going through several. Let's turn it off. Alright, so now it is working, and we will see. I will come back to this, and we'll see how long it takes to drop the temperature in this room to a more reasonable temperature. I don't like it to be 65, but 72 would be nice. Artic Air Web Cleaning Pure Chill Test. It is now 4:14 and has been 12 minutes less than 4 hours from the time the device was filled with water and had the water filter fresh from the freezer. The temperature in the room is about 2 degrees lower than it was. It's about 78. And the water reservoir, as we'll see in a minute, is totally empty of water. So that means that this will not continue to work because it requires water to actually chill the air. And as you look inside, there is not even a layer of water. It is just empty. So I'm going back to this user's guide. Alright. Artic Air Pure Chill will run up to 8 hours on high. It didn't run 4. Didn't quite run 4. 10 hours on medium and 12 hours on low. I started it on medium and then I realized that it would be a better test to have it on high. So it was on high for about 2.5 hours, at least, maybe 3. Bottom line is, it didn't live up to the promise of the brochure or the marketing. We're going to test the other one in just a minute. More feedback on the Artic Air before we begin on the other one. The water filter that you see beside the machine leaked like a sieve. Remember, it was frozen when I put it in? I noticed that there was water underneath it on the table, so I took it to the kitchen, and there was close to at least a half an inch of water in the tray that this water filter sits in. The water filter is still wet. I don't think it's dried out yet. Not cold, but not dried out. And they say you need to air dry it, so I'll probably air dry it with a blow dryer. But the end result is that not only did it not produce the cold air or run for the length of time it was supposed to run, it also has a tendency to leak. I'm using one of these lifetime tables so water doesn't bother it, but if you had it on some kind of a wooden table, that would not be a good thing. Now we're going to start on the test of the Maxx evaporative air fan. Now we start the test of the Maxx air cooler fan. And I have already pulled out the water filter, whatever they call it, water curtain, I think. Anyway, you saw the video of that. It's been in the freezer. The water tank slides up just like that, and there is a cap on the bottom, and when we fill it up, we're going to be using filtered ice water all the way to the brim. This is a little bit better way of gauging the fill than what we were able to do in the Arctic Air Pure Chill. The size of the tanks are very similar, however. So we're just going to see. Let me get it ready to go, and I'll show you putting it in. So this is the water curtain, fresh from the freezer. Drops right in. There's a vertical pull that allows you to pull it up properly. I'll see it in a minute. This is the filled water tank, and I was wrong. It took about 2/3 of that same bottle that I used to fill the other one. The other one I think was even more. So this slides down a groove and fits right in, but you have to slide it down the groove for it to fit. So now I also have to get this water curtain in exactly the right spot. At least I know the top. There it goes. And then we put this top back on. Alright, so that is on. It is plugged in. I had to get an adapter. I had to buy this at Ace Hardware. I want one that has 2 amps, which this one does, plugged in or this way. So you need to buy that along with the cord that they give you. And it says you could do it in a computer. It's not that long a cord. I may actually have to do this with a computer for the moment because the cord isn't long enough for me to operate it on the table. So bear with me a minute while I move my Mac around. Yeah, you are listening to me. Okay. I have to move things around a bit. Just to accomplish this, but that's alright. In theory, then, it plugs into a USB port. So it is now plugged into my Mac. Not happy about that. And the Mac, of course, is plugged in as well, so I'm getting power directly to the Mac. Wouldn't want to join the battery. Alright. Now we're looking, the switches are right here on the top. They're gray. You can see them. The power is the far left. The mode is the middle. And the light is the far right. And mode would be whether it's chilling or whatever. We'll go into that in a minute. So first we'll do the power. It's supposed to start on high. On. Short press the switch button and the fan starts. The light doesn't light until I press that power switch again. It'll turn the fan off. Now press the gear button to advance the gear. So I just touched the gear button. I can hear it going. It's in first gear. And we'll go to second gear, third gear. Oh, that's first gear. Light puts the light on the fill chamber. Boy, that fill chamber is already dropping in water quite a bit. It was almost to the top when I put it in. We can do some more. This is not a ultraviolet light, it's just a light. So judging from the sound, it is on high. Time is now 4:56. Well, let's see, wait a minute. Now it's on high. You can see the three little lights that are over here. Those indicate how much it is working, so how fast it's going. There is a definite breeze coming out of the fan, and there was on the Arctic air as well. The question is, how long is it good for? And this one, I thought I had it filled to the top, and it's not filled to the top, but we'll just see what it does in as short a time as we can do. Let me find the thermometer again. This light is handy. So the thermometer is reading, I guess, about 78, where I see the red. And on the Fahrenheit side, it's about 78. And we'll see if it goes down and how long it takes for it to go down. At this level, it's supposed to not take very long to or the temperature in the room. But I will come back to you once we know more. This is the side view of the Maxx air cooler fan. You can see the water tank, and you can see that there is about maybe a quarter of the water in the tank is left. It's been 4 hours since I turned it on. It's been running at max cool or chill, and the air coming out is not particularly cold at all, and the temperature in the room at the most may have dropped 2 degrees, so it's in the ballpark 76 to 78 degrees Fahrenheit. There is no evidence of leakage at the bottom of the tank. The table is dry. But at the same time, there has not been evidence of cooling that I would have expected from the terminology. Also, based on this experience, a full tank probably can run at the highest fan speed for at the most 5 hours, because I think in another hour that water tank will be empty. And it's not significantly cooling at this point. They were saying about reducing it to, reducing the temperature quite a bit. Haven't seen that happen. Though air coolers are well known over the years in places like Arizona, where they can use a fan over water to create the air conditioning because the air is so dry. This test was done in Batavia, Illinois, outside of Chicago, and done on June the 7th, on a hot, muggy day. Hot meaning between 89 and 92, with the humidity levels pretty high. So, that's the best I can say for the test. If I were comparing the two, I would say that this Maxx air cooler fan operated a little better than the Artic air because there was no leaking, and because there was still water in the tank after 4 hours, and the Artic air ran out of water before the 4-hour timer.